deal to add to what's been said by Eric in the movie, is that the vast majority of people are not aware of this problem and the causes of it. And we need all of you to be messengers to get this message out. I don't know if you're going to disseminate this movie in a way that we can buy it or something.
Yeah, April 2nd.
But I think everybody ought to get one. They ought to show it to all their friends and neighbors. And if they know people in the media, they ought to get it to them. Because if you have an informed electorate or an informed a body of people in this country, they will demand change. I think Kennedy said that when he was giving his speech. And so there's a lot of people that are supportive of getting mercury out of everything, but we need a lot more in this army, and you folks are the ground troops. So get a copy of this movie, and I'm going to get 4 or 5 copies and send it out. And then make sure that you disseminate that to as many people as possible. You know, they talked about that, the comparison of this to cigarette smoking causing cancer. And I can remember very, very well when they were making the case that, you know, there's no way that the cancer was being caused by cigarettes. And now, of course, everybody in the world knows that it's one of the major causes of lung cancer. And the same thing is going on right now. Now, if the CDC and the FDA, and in particular, the pharmaceutical companies who have a vested interest in this, and they're very interested in making sure there's no class action lawsuits. They try to protect themselves every way they can. But, you know, if they get to the media, like they got to Anderson Cooper, they'll be very convincing that the information that they're giving them has been tested again and again and again, as you saw in the movie. And this movie here, I think, will put to rest all of the arguments that are being made by these pharmaceutical people and the people that work at FDA and CDC. So it's just a matter of getting the message out, and I'll be one of your soldiers. I'll do everything I can to make sure we get it out, because I think this is so well done, and the way he went into every minute detail of the studies and everything is really, really impressive. So thank you very, very, very much.
Your story is my son's story, and I was back there. I could have told you that story, from the glutathione and the hyperbaric oxygen chamber and the infrared sauna. I own one, and I've rented one, and I've done it all. And everybody thinks I'm crazy. Everybody thinks I'm crazy. But I tell you what, he's not autistic anymore. I can't wait to get my hands on about 1,000 copies.
I'm going to interject here and say her son Daniel just flew a plane.
Wow.
A plane.
He has a future and a hope, you know. And so I wanted to thank you. I wanted to tell you that it must have been really rough going through that, but I'm so grateful that you were willing to do that. And I wanted to tell you there's a purpose for it, and the purpose is to save so many people. So thank you.
Thank you.
Now, my question. I knew about the alpha-lipoic acid, right? And we're doing the DMSA. Did you do the DMSA with the alpha-lipoic acid or just the alpha-lipoic acid?
The first time I did Andy Cutler's protocol, which is DMPS would have been better because DMPS is more specific to mercury. DMSA, I couldn't handle the DMPS because I had blisters break out of my arms and all sorts of weird stuff. And then I switched to the DMSA for the first 3 months. It was literally just DMSA to clear all the blood and extracellular compartments. Then I added ALA to it, and first 3 months I had 0 improvement. Once I started with the ALA, within probably a week or two, symptoms started going away, and within 3 months of the ALA, everything was gone. That was the first time. Second time was a lot harder to get through. The second time I had major systemic candida, so I've struggled with that so bad. For a year, I just did diflucan for a year, and by the time I got done with that, I didn't want the yeast to come back. And these drugs that remove the mercury from your body and brain are sulfur drugs that feed yeast. So I fortunately went on tour and I started interviewing every doctor and scientist. Not only was I looking for the science and stuff, but I was looking at ways to fully recover myself, and I came across a lot of different therapies that work brilliantly to increase glutathione levels and that are much safer also. And there's a lot of different techniques you can do to raise the glutathione and literally dump toxins out. And I used those more than I did Cutler's protocol the second time, just because I was so scared of the yeast.
Yeah. Are you going to put
If I might interrupt, Dr. Boyd Haley, who's in your film, he has a company, and it's now domiciled, I think, primarily in Ireland, and they are manufacturing a substance that they're very hopeful will be a composite of a lot of these things and to help get people cured of autism as well. So keep your fingers crossed. He's been working on it for a long time.
In healthcare, if you do not take the flu shot, do you know that it is in the Affordability Care Act that every hospital and long-term healthcare center will lose 2% of its federal funding if 90% of the employees do not take their immunizations? And as I do a wonderful job, I do a good job, and I was appalled to think that I could lose my job if I decline a flu shot, because I've read everything, I've read what's in it. And I just want to make sure everybody knows there is a plan to implement an adult immunization plan. You can find it on the hhs.gov. Look, February 5th, 2015, do a search. There's a 46-page document laid out, point by point, how they want to start an adult immunization plan. And the same plan for children that's been implemented over the last 40 years, they plan on beginning that on adults. Do the search. I'm serious, you guys. hhs.gov, and look up, do a search for adult immunizations. And it's all connected to the Affordability Plan Act. You can read through the document. It says, in the best interest of the shareholders. It says that about 5 times in the 46-page document. Be informed. And my question for you, Mr. Burton, what can we do? I mean, I look at this struggle that people have had for 20 years.
Yeah. Well, I know people they've heard this before, but I would say that if you get the information to everybody you know, you might also tell them to contact their congressmen and their senators, tell them of the concerns that you have. This information that you just gave to me and Eric tonight, I didn't know anything about it. I haven't read.
hhs.gov.
Yeah, no, I know it's no. I know it's Obamacare. I know it's the Affordable Care Act. The point is, there's so many things in there that nobody knows about. It's not even funny. And so what you need to do, if you have specific things that you want to bring to the attention of the people who can make a change, contact your congressman and senator and the executive branch as well. Don't think that this fight is not going to be very, very difficult. The biggest, or the second biggest, one of the top 2 lobbying firms in Washington, D.C. is the pharmaceutical lobby. They have an office of their own. They have a huge staff. They're up there on the Hill all the time talking about issues like the ones we're talking about tonight, and they always carry with them the disinformation. So you're going to have a tough time getting your message across. But if enough people work on it, then people will listen to, the congressmen will listen to their constituents instead of the lobbyists.
And that's the key point, is this, it's not about vaccines anymore. This is about the system that is overseeing this entire program has completely gone to fraud and corruption and money making instead of saving human lives. So
and if the consumer demands vaccines without Thimerosal, that will trickle into the corporate stratosphere. So one of the things that you need to do, Eric was telling that story, is if you do decide to get the flu shot or the tetanus, ask for the insert, check to make sure there's no Thimerosal, because that story isn't the first time we've heard someone asking for a Thimerosal
hear that all
flu
the
shot.
time.
And it's because they don't know. So you need to be your own advocate when you go into the doctor's office and make sure there's no mercury in it.